Les adjectifs qualificatifs. Qualifying adjectives. First of all, you might wonder, what is a qualifying adjective? A qualifying adjective is a word describing a noun in some way, such as color, size, etc. Unlike in English, in French, adjectives agree in gender and number with the noun they modify.
To make an adjective feminine, you usually need to add an E.
To make it plural, you usually add an S. For example, the adjective fatigant, meaning tiring, is in its default form in the masculine singular, has had an S added in the masculine plural, an E added in the feminine singular, and ES added in the feminine plural. Fatigant, fatigant, fatigante, fatigante. However, when the adjective in the masculine singular already ends with an S or an X, nothing is added to make it masculine plural. When the adjective in the masculine singular already ends with an E, nothing is added to make it feminine. For example, gris, meaning grey, in the masculine singular and masculine plural are exactly the same. In the feminine singular, an E is added, and in the feminine plural, ES is added. Gris, gris, grise, grise. Here's an example of an adjective already ending with an E in its default form, which is the masculine singular. You can see that in the masculine singular and feminine singular, the adjective rose, meaning pink, is spelled exactly the same, and that for both the masculine plural and the feminine plural forms, only an S is added. Rose, 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 rose. So where in the sentence are French adjectives placed? Unlike in English, in French, adjectives are usually placed after the noun they modify. For example, whilst in English you would say an interesting book, in French you would say un livre intéressant, which literally means a book interesting. However, there are some exceptions. Adjectives describing beauty, age, how good or bad something or someone is, and size are placed before the noun they modify. Here are some examples. A beautiful lady, une jolie fille, a young woman, une jeune femme, a small dog, un petit chien, a bad smell, une mauvaise odeur. As you can see, in these cases, the word order is the same as in English. The rules that we've seen so far are the general rules. However, there are many others you need to be aware of. When an adjective ends in C, the C becomes CHE in the feminine form. For example, the adjective franc, meaning honest, franc, franc, franche, franche. When an adjective ends in ER and ET, ER usually becomes E with a grave accent RE and et usually becomes e with a grave accent te in the feminine form. For example, the adjective amer, meaning bitter, amer, amer with an s in the plural, amer, e grave accent re, amer, e grave accent res. When an adjective ends in eur, eur usually becomes euse in the feminine form. For example, the adjective flatteur, meaning flattering, flatteur, flatteur, flatteuse, flatteuse. You can see that eur has become euse and that an s has been added in the plural forms. When an adjective ends in eux, it also usually becomes euse in the feminine form. For example, the adjective généreux, meaning generous, généreux, généreux, généreuse, généreuse. Notice here also that because généreux already ends in an x in the masculine singular form, in the masculine plural it stays exactly the same. When an adjective ends in f usually becomes ve in the feminine form. For example, neuf, meaning new, neuf, neuf, neuve, neuve. When an adjective ends in g usually becomes gue in the feminine form. For example, long, meaning long, 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 longue, longue. When an adjective ends in al, it usually becomes aux in a masculine plural form. For example, normal, meaning normal, normal, normaux, normal, normal. When an adjective ends in eau, it usually becomes eaux in a masculine plural form and elle in the feminine form. For example, beau, meaning beautiful or nice looking, beau, beau, belle, belle. When an adjective is placed before a masculine singular noun starting with the letter H or a vowel, the adjective becomes irregular, resembling the feminine form. For example, if the word following beau, nouveau, or vieux started with the letter H or a vowel, beau would become belle, spelt B-E-L, nouveau would become nouvelle, spelt N-O-U-V-E-L, and vieux would become vieille, spelt V-I-E-I-L. which as you can see is quite similar to the feminine singular forms of those words. When an adjective ends in a vowel followed by a consonant, the consonant is usually doubled before adding the E in the feminine form. However, this is not usually true of AL ending adjectives. For example, the adjective bon, meaning good or tasty, bon, bon, bonne, bonne. As the adjective bon ends in a vowel followed by a consonant, you can see that in the feminine forms, the N has been doubled. Once you've memorized these rules, you will be able to make qualifying adjectives agree with the noun about 90% of the time, as well as know where to place them. However, be aware that exceptions do exist, and these can only be learnt through practice. Here are some examples of exceptions. Doux, meaning soft, becomes douce in the feminine. Roux, meaning ginger, becomes rousse in the feminine. And vieux, meaning old, becomes vieille in the feminine. As you can see, they all end in X, and doux and roux both end in OUX, yet their feminine is different.
I hope you found this lesson useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it. And if you still have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments. That's what the comments are for. If you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. I upload new videos regularly. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, all the links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye!